Breaking news just a few minutes ago, a judge in New York without a trial has ruled that President Trump committed fraud when he was building his real estate firm by inflating the values of property. As you know, real estate values are a very fungible thing. A lot of people concerned about this ruling because there was no trial. This comes prior to the trial, basically the headline before there's even a consideration of the evidence. We've got the perfect first guest to referee this. Mike Davis, the founder and president of Article 3 Project, is joining us right now. Mike, pretty stark ruling that they're going to make this determination before the trial starts, right?
Yeah, this is a joke, and it's a very bad joke. You have this New York Attorney General, Tish James, who had this Democrat judge in New York simply rule that Trump committed civil fraud. No trial, no jury for the non-fraud of Trump paying back sophisticated Wall Street banks in full with interest. This is Democrat lawfare that's been going on many different fronts. This is election interference, and these New York appellate courts need to reverse this unconstitutional decision that's going on here. This judge is trying to say that Trump has to shut down his New York businesses and maybe have an independent monitor run the Trump organization. This is nonsense. This is Democrat lawfare. This is Marxism.
Wow.
Oof. Scary, scary. I want to stay up in that part of the world, shift over to New Jersey. The issue with Senator Bob Menendez and alleged bribery for him. I don't mean to be a nihilist or a wet blanket about politics, but I do have a working theory that most politicians have engaged in some sort of corruption, maybe not even knowingly. But considering how many politicians we already do know have engaged in these types of schemes, quid pro quo, bribery, whatever you want to call it, why do you think Bob Menendez has been plucked out for recognition?
I think the Biden administration wanted to pluck him out because Bob Menendez was the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, and he was in the way of the Obama-Biden policy of cozying up to Iran. And I think that's why. Why did they wait? Why did the Biden Justice Department wait until now to bring these charges? And maybe he's guilty as hell. Who knows? But why did they wait till now? And also, if taking bribes from foreign governments is disqualifying and should get you thrown in prison, why is President Biden sitting in the White House right now?
It's a great question. And just a few minutes ago, James Comer, the chairman of the House Oversight Committee, revealed he's gotten a couple of wires showing that money came from Beijing to Hunter Biden at the address of his father in Delaware. Not a surprise, because obviously Hunter Biden was living there at the time. But the idea that Joe Biden is living in the very home where communist Chinese money is flowing in, not a good image heading into 2024 re-election, is it?
No, I mean, you have this, 50-year-old at the time. Now he's a 54-year-old crackhead son who lives with his father in their house in Delaware, moves in with his father in the White House, and this crackhead son is the bag man for the Biden foreign bribery and corruption scheme. Does anyone really think that these foreign entities, these foreign countries are going to be paying 20, 30, maybe 40, $50 million to the Biden family because Hunter Biden is such a genius on geopolitics? Of course they're buying Joe Biden and his influence.
Yeah, there have actually been flashes where I've actually felt bad for Hunter Biden because so often it does feel like he has been the bag man for his father. Speaking of his father, we had Congressman Lee Zeldin on the show a few minutes ago, and we were talking about, a lot of issues with President Biden heading into next year, cognition, of course, being one, but corruption is another one. And the comparison between Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, their connections with foreign business dealings, whether it's CEFC connected to the bank wire that James Comer just revealed, or whether it's Ukraine or Romania or Kazakhstan or wherever the case may be. Heading into this election, it seems like that narrative, that culture of corruption with the Biden family is punching through on the left. Do you think that's going to have an impact on President Biden's numbers? Because as of right now, per ABC Washington Post, he's 9 points down already.
Yeah, and it sounds like the Democrats are ready to throw him overboard. Joe Biden was the Democrats' useful idiot, and he's no longer useful. He's actually a drag on the ticket. So watch the Democrats make big moves to get rid of him. Maybe they bring in Michelle Obama to replace him at the last minute. Who knows? That's the theory that we keep hearing out there. But look, this guy is corrupt. He's compromised. How many wires from how many different foreign governments and entities need to hit every Biden family member's bank account except for the 5-year-old granddaughter who they don't claim, and they finally claimed under political pressure. He is clearly compromised, and this is clearly having a disastrous effect on the United States foreign policy. Does anyone think that Putin would have invaded Ukraine but for the fact that Putin knew that Biden was corrupt and compromised? He did it twice. Putin did it when Obama put VP Biden in charge of Ukraine. Putin took Crimea. 4 years of peace and prosperity under Trump. And now that Biden is back, Putin's trying to take the rest of Ukraine.
Mike, I want to ask about tomorrow. The House Ways and Means Committee is going to release some more evidence from those IRS whistleblowers. There was a big spin job a couple of weeks ago, Democrats saying, oh, the FBI says the IRS whistleblowers aren't true. Then you get the transcripts like I did over the weekend. The FBI is actually corroborating everything the IRS whistleblower said, including the fact that the 2 U.S. attorneys appointed by Joe Biden, Washington, Los Angeles, both turned down the felony charges for tax evasion on Burisma money. How much trouble is Merrick Garland going to face in the weeks ahead now that all this evidence comes out and basically calls bunk on his own testimony?
Well, this impeachment inquiry that the House Republicans are launching against President Biden also needs to include Attorney General Merrick Garland and U.S. Attorney David Weiss and these other U.S. attorneys who have clearly been obstructing justice, lying to federal investigators, the IRS agents, obstructing justice to try to protect, to try to cover up for Joe Biden. And that's exactly what they've done here. Those are impeachable offenses, and those need to be included in the House Republicans' impeachment inquiry.
Yeah, no doubt. Amazing.
Mike, we've just got a minute left. We have watched the morphing of the Ukraine narrative with Joe Biden. It went from I didn't have any idea about it. I didn't talk to my son about it. Well, I wasn't involved in it. Well, it didn't affect state policy. And we are starting to learn that it possibly did. And you look at that tracking with the billions of dollars that Americans have given Ukraine. Hypothetically speaking, if there's a connection between the two of those, between Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's business dealings and the money now going to Ukraine, are the American people paying to cover up Joe Biden's corruption?
Well, yeah, I mean, we would not, like we talked about, we would not be in this war, this proxy war with Russia and spent, what, $200 billion and running that $10 million bribe from Burisma to Joe Biden and Hunter Biden has really paid off for Ukraine because we are on the hook for all this money. This would not be the case if President Biden weren't corrupt and compromised.